What's good, family? It's your boy Old Soul J, and I'm back with another video. Let's get into it. Is free will a real thing? So recently, forget the brother's name, but somebody commented on one of my videos and they said, I don't even remember what the video was. I make so many videos, I post so many videos, but I remember what their comment was. And they said, the guy was like, oh, my mother once told me that everything is God's will, something. I honestly don't remember. But it inspires me to make a video talking about free will or God's will. Based on my experience, from experiencing different levels of consciousness, because I'll be the first to tell you, being on a high frequency and being on a lower frequency is a entirely different experience and feeling. And I have experienced both on a very high level. I'll say very high compared to the low state I've been at. So when you're raising your consciousness, you're basically letting your higher self take more control. You're more aware of things, and your higher self taking control comes hand in hand with that, right? You're just more stepping into your truer self. Now, when you're in a lower vibrational state, there's many things that contribute to that, but you're definitely further away from your higher self than you would be when you're in a higher vibrational or conscious state. So from my experience, it's so funny because years ago, I actually asked a mentor of mine, and this is not the same mentor that I mentioned recently. I actually asked him, I said, hey, because he was a little more advanced than me. He is a little more advanced than me. Not even a little, he's probably a lot more advanced. But I said, hey, if your higher self is always with you, right? He believed that your higher self is on the higher plane, right? But is always with you, which I actually know to be true now. But through experience, at the time it was just words. I trusted him, but I had to experience it. And it's guiding you, right? So then I'm like, wait, so is free will an illusion? I was like, don't think about it like that. You are the higher self. Because I was taking it as if I'm separate from my higher self. As if my higher self I'm the video game character, I'm the avatar, and my higher self has a joystick, not literally, figuratively speaking, but has a joystick and is controlling me, and it's getting the experiences through me. That's why it's a worthy experience, because I don't know, or I'm not experiencing the controller. I'm living it. But, I was looking at it as it's separate, and he's like, no, don't look at it like that. That is you, right? So I said all that to say this. You may have heard this before, you may have not. Source, right? What we're saying God, because God is really just a title. For the sake of the video, what we're speaking about literally, or what most people refer to God, is the creator of all, right? The creator. So source, when I say source, I'm referring to the creator. Source, because that's where we all come from. That's why, literally, that's what source means. So source, the way it works, if source is the first and only thing, if the creator is the first being, in order for him to create other beings and other things, it literally has to come from him, because he's the only thing in existence. So meaning everything that exists is a small piece of the creator. Literally. You come from his essence. So your soul is a smaller part. Now this goes up like it breaks down though. So when we say higher self, it's a version of you that's on a higher plane that is closer to the creator. Now the highest self is the creator, which is us, and this is why you hear this saying that we're all one, because we all come from the same source. If we were all able to connect with that source, we'd all be the same being. Honestly, this is information that you know intuitively, naturally. It's not common sense, but it would be common sense if you weren't conditioned a certain way, and you were conditioned a certain way for a reason to not tap into that. Right? So, with that being said, yes, I think we have free will. But I also believe that everything is part of God's plan. You might say, Jimar, how is that possible? That's contradictive. Did you hear what I just said? You are God. Your free will is God's plan, is God's will, is the source's will. The source is split up. That's how powerful it is. It's all. It's the all. It's everything. Our human minds are not meant to be able to perceive that. But I can make sense of it. Or this is the most sense you can make of it. I understand it. Of course, I can't perceive how that works specifically, but it makes sense to me. The all is so powerful, it can do anything because everything is it. We're basically thought forms, in other words, but the all is split up into different bodies, into different objects, into different personalities, egos, everything. And it's tricking itself to think it's separate from everything and everyone. That it's its own being. It's having a different experience through all of us. It is us. I'm laughing because I'm really wondering like how many people think like, yo, this guy is crazy. But if you know, you know. So yes, free will is real, and so is God's will. There's different possibilities and scenarios happening simultaneously. Everything that is possible to happen exists somewhere. So you do have free will because the path that you choose, any possibility that could happen in your life already exists somewhere. You're just going to experience whichever path you go on. It exists whether you go that way or not, which is part of the source. And that is how, and that's how you know source loves you so much that it's letting you, that's a different video, but that is how God's will and free will can both be true. And to be honest, that's what it is. That's what it is. But yeah, family, that's all I gotta say for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I got a lot more content on the way. You dig? Was that too hype? Nah, I'm out though. I love y'all.